They say adrenaline is what keeps the body alive in moments of danger. Without it, you don't run, you don't fight, you don't survive, you basically flatline. And that's what happens in most action movies. Adrenaline is that rush that makes us sit forward in our seats, clench our fists, hold our breath and root for the hero. Without it, even the most ambitious and expensive visuals might feel lifeless. Welcome to Frequently Made Mistakes. I am Sudhish Kamath and this is the show where we break down the small things that separate a decent movie from a great one. Our mistake today, where's the adrenaline? And our case study today is Brahmastra, a film that had the scale, the star power and the spectacle but left us feeling calm. There was no adrenaline. Let's find out why. So what do we exactly mean by adrenaline in film? Adrenaline is the fuel for an action sequence. It's not about the fast editing, the loud music or the action choreography. It's the physiological response that our body has. Our heart rate goes up, our muscles tense up and we feel the same things that the character in the movie is feeling as he goes through the action. Adrenaline comes from something very primal. It comes from the stakes, the clarity, the vulnerability and the momentum. Not from CGI or VFX that we see in action sequences. Remember the excitement in the theaters when you were watching Avengers? When Hulk smashed Loki and pounded him like a rag doll. Now that rush of energy, that excitement, that cheering, that rooting that we did was the rush of adrenaline that we felt because we were invested in Hulk. So adrenaline is not about the scale of the action, it's about what the audience feels in their bones, in their bodies. How do we manufacture that? In Mad Max Fury Road, the chases are pure chaos, but every frame has physical consequence. Bodies flying off cars, dust choking the air, the camera staying close enough for us to feel the engines roar. We felt our hearts racing with that distortion guitar. In Die Hard, Bruce Willis cuts his feet with broken glass. As he winces, you wince too. He's bloody, limping, and desperate. The action isn't just spectacle, it's survival. So adrenaline is not really about scale. It's about making the audience believe that the danger is real, the stakes are real. It's about the release and the catharsis the audience feels when we transport them successfully into the shoes of the character. Now let's talk about Brahmastra. Nobody can deny the ambition here. Full points for effort in bringing mythological astras into the modern blockbuster space. It was a daring idea. The visual design was lush, the music swelling, the imagery bright and fiery. So why didn't it feel like an action film that got your pulse racing? Three problems stand out. One, the invincibility problem. Shiva, played by Ranbir Kapoor, is never really in danger. He awakens new powers exactly when he needs them. There's no sense that he might lose, and adrenaline thrives on vulnerability. If the hero can't be hurt, the audience can't be scared. Second, spectacle without rules. What exactly are these astras? What are their limits? How do you defeat them? If the rules aren't clear, then the fight becomes about two glowing figures throwing abstract beams at each other. Pretty to look at, but dramatically weightless. Third, momentum killers. Just when a battle begins to pick up pace, the film cuts to a romantic song or stops to explain the mythology. Start-stop storytelling flattens pace because action runs on rhythm and rhythm builds adrenaline. So instead of our pulses racing, what we get is a cosmic screensaver. Now how do you fix this? By grounding the spectacle in physical risk. Now imagine if the Brahmastra scorched Shiva a little bit every time he used his powers. Which means that every victory would cost him a burn, a wound or a scar. Now that would turn the action from visual fireworks to visceral survival. Or make Shiva lose big halfway. That forces him to retreat, lick his wounds and come back and return stronger. Suddenly the outcome isn't guaranteed. We are on the edge wondering whether he'll make it or not. The fix is simple but powerful. Show pain, show limits, show risk. And that's what creates adrenaline. Adrenaline is stakes plus urgency plus vulnerability. Without stakes, the fight doesn't matter. Without urgency, it drags. Without vulnerability, it feels fake. And don't worry about scale. Remember how in Hurt Locker, we felt the tension rising and the adrenaline pumping every time he had to just cut a wire? So it's not really about the scale, but how much we are able to immerse them in that action. To make them feel the threats, to make them feel vulnerable, to make them feel the danger, and finally the relief or release or catharsis that we feel when the character is out of danger. We felt it because we were terrified of what would happen. So if you're writing action, don't worry about making it bigger. The real question you have to be asking yourself is, how do I make the audience really feel the danger? This week's writing exercise: write a 2-page action scene that does not require any CGI. No explosions, just 2 people in a confined space, a ticking clock, and something vital on the line. The challenge is to make the reader's heart race. If you can do that on the page, you don't have to worry about adrenaline ever again. I hope they make those Brahmastra sequels. I look forward to them, and I hope the makers remember that fireworks look good, but adrenaline is what makes us feel good. That's all in this edition of Frequently Made Mistakes. Until next time, keep your stories alive, keep that adrenaline pumping. Goodbye.